that toxic masculinity. Like it, no, it's just being a fucking man. It's like we get attacked for it. It's like, no, like I'm supposed to be in control. There's sometimes we're like, well, you shouldn't have said that, or you shouldn't have done that, or well, that was aggressive. I'm like, no, it's being the man and stepping into the fucking role of the man.
Welcome to the Modern Masculinity Pod. Thanks for being here, man.
Thank you for having me.
Give a quick little background and then we'll just get into, what we get into today.
So, despite what some people think, I'm a first generation attorney. My mom's a school teacher. My dad's a contractor. The law just fits the way I think. Ironically, UC Santa Barbara, we had a lot of fun up there. And we had to take a professional writing course, and I chose legal writing. And the way legal writing works fits my brain. There's much smarter people than me who don't pass the bar because it's a different type of test. A baseball player can't shoot a free throw and a basketball player can't throw a fucking strike. It's just, they're different skill sets. I'm not better than anyone. It's just, it is what my natural brain fits. And so I had a wonderful lady out there in Santa Barbara who was like, I really encourage you to go to law school. And like, I really didn't know what I wanted to do in my life at that point. And I was like, I can say 2 sentences and I don't need to write 5 pages. This is wonderful. Like, it's like all through school, like all through most education teaches more the merrier. Law is the judge does not give a fuck what you have to say. Make your point, cut the fluff out, tell me what I need to know. And like, that's one of the biggest things I've learned throughout my career. Keep it short, put the main points in the beginning, and the judge is going to be happy. The judge is going to rule on your side. And, a lot of attorneys truthfully don't see a judge, they're not in front of a judge. So it's just something that they don't experience. I've been blessed to have great mentors. I don't know if I should say that. John Mansour in Rancho Cucamonga and Andrea Rice in West LA. 2 people I'm very, very grateful for that shaped my career tremendously. And I'm thankful for it. But I didn't plan on doing litigation when I was in law school. I did a tax LLM, which is usually transactional based, and litigation just found me, and I'm happy.
We were setting up the shot here, and it was interesting as you were talking to a partner or someone in the firm, and you were basically going over your arguments, and you were like, essentially you were saying like the argument that they were bringing up or that was proposition like didn't make any logical sense, and you had so much pragmatism to it, and I think that is an inherently like masculine trait, is to bring logic to something. And it seems like the world seems to be getting more and more illogical as we go by.
I'll phrase it even a different way. The world fucking lacks common sense. I mean, common sense isn't common anymore is the biggest problem. And I mean, listen, everyone wants to make it a right or a left. It's not a right or a left. It's a fucking human argument. You don't support Trump blindly. Don't support the left blindly. Don't support anyone blindly. Have your own values. Know who you are as a person. Say, this is what I believe in. I respect people. I respect humans. And, do what's decent. Sometimes decency gets left aside because I'm right or left. I clearly lean right. I'm not gonna lie. My last name's fucking Vance. But it's a big right name right now.
The memes were great. If you follow Tyler.
Cousin JD. And it's funny. Even in the professional world, so many attorneys, sometimes you can tell it comes from a place of hatred almost. Oh, you're a Vance. Oh, are you related to JD? Or sometimes it's like, oh, are you related to JD? And so like, listen, I try to stay neutral because, listen, my politics don't have anything to do with my client's position or what I do for work. It is a reality. I am who I am, and you can't separate those things. Like, that's just the life we live. I mean, I enjoy it. It has made things funnier for me. Personally, I consider myself a libertarian. Socially, I'm liberal as fuck. Fiscally, I'm very conservative. And that probably makes a lot of conservatives happy because the social side of it is more the moral side of it. And that also probably pisses off a lot of liberals because socially, they're like, well, you don't agree with our principles. I'm like, I am who I am. Get over it.
it makes me think of that. It's sort of been a meme, but I think we're I think almost the same age. I'm 34. 33. So we went through much of the same thing in high school. And I remember being sort of, a Democrat back in high school, or more of the progressive side. And there's that meme where it talks about like the guy who's in the middle, and the boundaries keep getting stretched further and further. And the person, he's staying in the same spot, but what was considered progressive or left or right has just shifted so much over these last years that it's different, than it was before.
So I have a couple thoughts on this. Number one, I think Elon was the one who said, I didn't become conservative. The left left me. A lot of the left is drastically, wanting to protect certain rights and at the expense of other rights, which this tolerance they preach, they don't realize they're being intolerant to other groups. But with that being said, I was just in West Virginia, an area where you would think is very conservative. There was actually one guy from Atlanta, Georgia, and everyone else was West Virginia. I was probably the most conservative person there. And I was fucking confused about it. Like, I was like, she's from West Virginia. But we were talking about it. And I'm happy we're talking about this here, because at the end of the day, most people are more centered than you realize. But the only voices you will ever hear in the media are way out here and way out here. Because you want to know why? These two are the ones that create money, stories, publicity. Like, most people don't hate each other. I mean, most people you run into are not like, excuse my language, go suck yourself. It's like they don't look at you and think that. Like, that's just not how most Americans are. The media may want us to think that, and we may think, oh, the world's going to hell because of what we see in the media. But that's because in the 50s, you didn't have Twitter showing you every cop shooting, every shitty thing in your neighborhood. Like, I'm not sure how much the world has actually changed, or how much we receive from the world that we didn't know before. It's just a downside of the beautiful things we have in life.
It makes me think about that sort of phenomenon that you see in large cities where people essentially get dehumanized, right? And I think they've sort of seen it in sort of animal populations, that once you hit a certain density, right? Like, essentially morality, or that relationship, that interpersonal relationship, goes out the window. And that creates a lack of responsibility. And I think we're sort of seeing it like at a macro, where everyone is checking out, and then the fucking city, the world is burning.
Well, so I agree. And it becomes what you just talked about, where you're not held accountable for your actions, essentially, is the way what I just took of what you said, where people are looting stores. So there was, not to get too specific about where we're at, a day or two ago, there was a gentleman in this immediate area who was robbed at gunpoint on video of a $600,000 watch off his wrist. And it's like broad daylight. He gated fucking parking garage, and there's cameras everywhere. These people are going to be caught. I mean, truthfully, he's lucky he didn't die. If you look at the video, he goes like this, he cocks it, he tries to shoot. I don't know if the gun actually jammed, or if he was just someone who was paid to go do this and it wasn't there's a chance it wasn't a real gun. And I mean, I'm not the most gun savvy person, so I'm not going to sit here and act like I know anything about this, but you can see he cocks and goes like this, and it's like, and the guy, like, I couldn't imagine getting a gun pointed in my face. They're trying to rip a watch, or this hand, trying to rip a watch off your wrist. Like, how do you resell a watch that's $600,000? It's one of so many. Like, I don't understand what goes through people's mind. Like, go get a job. What do you think how do you gain in life from this?
Something that I'm curious to get your insight on, because I've had this realization. I'm mostly libertarian. And I've also realized that we, especially 30-something-year-old, are living on the back end of a system that, I guess, just factually was not totally transparent. You could pick all of the rabbit holes that you want to go down. And so there's a level of extraction that happens. And I can't help but recognize that there is a certain group of people who are benefiting from this sort of, let's call it an extraction of it, right? They are taking advantage of these people. And then certain people are at a disadvantage because of said decisions that were made X amount of years ago or whatever it is. And so I am challenged with my libertarian, pull your bootstraps up, go figure it out, take responsibility. And also, I can't help but think that the system has been rigged against our favor in X amount of ways. And so, like, I'm trying to marry those two perspectives.
I agree with everything you said. I think this is what the left missed about Trump, and this is what Trump ate up, and this is how Trump got elected. Got elected twice, 3 times, however many times you want to say, just to piss everyone off. But this is, and I'll, bash him now on this, is he's not. I mean, I personally, where I sit here today, I don't think he is this godsend, drain the swamp, go fuck yourself. Like he's not done that. Like Kash Patel said, the Epstein list doesn't exist. Go fuck yourself. I mean, Kash Patel's podcast, all this bullshit was, the Epstein list, and now you get in the position of power and you're gonna fold. Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't understand. And like, there's so many, I'll tell you, Trump kept a lot of things he said, but there's a lot of major things that he's just, bitched out on, like for lack of a better word. And it's funny, you talked about growing up. So, and I'll admit a fault when I'm wrong. I thought Bush, and I'll tell you, little Bush, I liked him. I wrote my, I think, senior high school thesis on Bush. And in hindsight, where I sit here today, he was probably wrong. Let's get into 9/11, weapons of mass destruction, all those things. He was wrong. But what I will tell you is he took a position. He didn't fucking flip flop like most politicians today. You know what? Boy partied. He did what he did. He took a position and he kept the position. Like, so I'm like, even like, this is a problem. Like, it's politicians on both sides. And I'm going to attack Republicans more so than liberals on this, because, all these Republicans want to like act like, or American first. Motherfucker, do you flip flop on everything? Like Mitt Romney, who was someone I didn't dislike, but that motherfucker flip flopped on every single thing. And like, it's part of the dichotomy of this 2-party system. Like you have to get in line or you get your ass kicked out. Like you and I both, we've both made this comment, not talking to each other. We identify as libertarians. And like, to my core, socially, I'm liberal as fuck. Fiscally, I'm conservative as fuck. But you know what affects me more is my dollar. Who's fucking someone behind closed doors? What those things don't affect me is the reality. It's a little bit harsh, it's a little bit crude. It's the reality of it. You know what affects me? If I'm getting taxed 65%, like, that's my family being hurt by that. And then the bigger problem is where that money's being spent. All these NGO, like this, like, I get most people don't want to trash Trump. Trump, you can take that when you're wrong. The NGOs, look at these NGOs.
Let me double down on that, because I see a lot of, like, let's bucket them and say left wing, leaning people or liberals or Democrats, whatever you want to call them, think that a lot of Republicans or conservatives are still on the Trump tree. And I think that they don't realize how much of that quote unquote MAGA base is in the exact same seat as you.
My 2 biggest problems right now is we have a 2-party system, and there's so much money involved. Elon tried to introduce this new American party and it went fucking nowhere. He had introduced it months ago and it's nowhere today. No one's ever heard of it again.
I think it comes back to this responsibility, right? There's been such a people releasing their responsibility for the decisions that they're making, not realizing that it's now, you talk about 65% taxes. I'm in a little different place in my life where I'm worried about fucking why are eggs $9, and why is a grocery bill, $400 to feed a family of whatever, if you look at, they've done those studies where the same grocery cart, right? And in that is now 2x the amount when inflation is part of it, right? But it's not everything. It's not the whole thing. And so it doesn't explain why our lives are just seemingly like getting, I don't mind hard. I enjoy hard. What I get caught up on is it seems to be unjust. It seems to be, and I don't know if fairness is the right word, that it's creeping into that word where like, okay, now you're fucking with my opportunity, which is what I get upset about.
So you raised an interesting point here. And listen, the way I grew up, we used to eat the Jack in the Box dollar menu, McDonald's dollar menu. Like I used to be able to go when I was in like, middle school, even into high school, I could go to Jack in the Box and get a full meal, 2 tacos, maybe 2 chicken sandwiches, $3.50, maybe $3.50. And dude, that's $10 now. Like today, if I go get that, that's $10. And I'm like, how the fuck did we get here? Number one. And my salary is not 3 times what my dad's salary was at the time. And I have a much better job than my dad. I'm not knocking my dad, but it's like the housing pricing, the salaries, like they've just not kept up with the cost of living. And it's not a knock on my mom or dad. There's some people at the generation before us, our parents, who are like, well, back in my day, and like I bought my house at 22 and I did this, I did that. I'm like, you want to have a quick conversation? Look at your salary compared to cost of like your meal every day, your housing costs. Like, yeah, of course you didn't rent because it was cheaper to buy. Like, listen, I rent here because this area is incredibly fucking expensive. I own a home, but I don't own a home share. And like, there is a cost benefit analysis and it doesn't make sense to like not to mention interest rates have fucking doubled, if not tripled from where I'm at, because I'm at 299, golden handcuffs.
It's not a bad place to be.
It's not the worst place to be. But also like moving forward, it's like, okay, well, that's just an investment property now. Like you're never going to like realistically, there's financial situations where it may make sense, but in the grand scheme of things, it's like, you're probably better off going on 30 years. I was 28 when I bought it, I think. So I will be 58 when it's paid off and it's sustainable.
What it concerns me with is for young men, let's put ourselves in that category. We might be on the older side of the young men category, but we're still in that, what the, at least before in generations past, there was a path that gave purpose. It was, okay, you go out and you create a family, build a home. Like there was this American dream that, people kind of point fingers at it, but at least it gave people a direction to go. And it said, okay, here's where you can head. Today, we can talk about what they're doing with family and, the birth rate and all the stuff about the family unit. And then also home ownership with BlackRock and like all these things where it's becoming harder. So many people, like I saw, and I didn't fact check it, but I saw a video of a mom of a 7-year-old who apparently put her daughter up for adoption so that she could travel the world with her boyfriend. I'm like, it's this whole internet thing and she's excited and she's getting praised for her chasing her, finding herself, being true to herself. And there's a 7-year-old who's like, what the fuck just happened?
Well, see, and that goes to my point about where they want to talk about tolerance for what you want to do, but you miss the people you're stepping on. And that's one of my biggest problems. And I'll tell you, my dad had me at 42. So my dad's on the older side of parents usually. And there were some negatives, of course, but there's some blessings that I've had because my dad's very old school. Most men around my age, like, listen, I walk on the street side of the sidewalk when I'm with a woman. I open her door. I open the car door. There's certain things like that. And Dad, if you're watching, I'll back you on this one. He orders for his woman, he orders her meal. Like I am like, listen, swear, what do you want? But it's a generational different. I'm like, I don't feel the need to do that. Like order for yourself. What the fuck do you want? But he I love my dad. I'm very close with him. And I'm very thankful for a lot of very good traits that I have from him where like the masculinity comes from him. And like, that is like most
lost today.
like most men, like when people say chivalry is dead, yeah, for most bitches it is, because you're fucking cowards. Like, you know what? I'm okay fucking paying every bill. I'm okay paying the rent. I'm okay fucking paying for every expense she needs. If she's going to be a mother to my child, she's going to fucking take care of the house. She's going to cook when I fucking get home. Like, there's like, people are going to get mad. Like, oh, well, that's stereotyping. No, like, we're like, physically, we are built differently. We're like built to do these things. And like, that's part of what the system has tried to attack the core of the home. And mothers and fathers serve different roles. I cannot teach something a mother can teach. And that's quite literally biology. I have something that she doesn't have. She has something I don't have.
Do you think we'll get to a place where we can stop pretending like that? Like there was a post on X where I saw, all of a sudden AI can tell the race of an individual based on their X-rays. And it's like, doctors don't know how it can do it. And it's like, no, doctors don't want to talk about why they can do it. But every doctor knows that there's differences between people. We're just pretending that that's not the case.
I mean, it's genetics. I mean, science can be used for good or bad. AI can be used for good or bad. And AI can be used to be more efficient, or it can be used to be lazy and stupid. And you can look at AI and say, AI, go do this. So I'm an attorney, as you know. It's about like, oh, AI is going to replace you. I'm like, listen, I have a skill set that AI cannot compete with. And I'm very comfortable with that. I don't care how like refined your AI model can be. Law is an art and it's not a science. And this is the reason why you present it to a jury of 12. You have to, the best argument wins. And I use this example every single time. When any of my clients want to talk about, well, but I have a slam dunk case. You know what? O.J. Simpson's wife, her family, and Ron Goldman, they thought they had a slam dunk case, and he got found not guilty. You want to know why? It's not a science. It's not black and white. It's who presents the better case. And on the criminal side of it, which I don't actually do, the prosecutor has a burden to carry that burden beyond a reasonable doubt. And if the defense attorney can create a reasonable doubt, if the glove don't say it, you must acquit. For whatever reason, create enough reasonable doubt. He got slammed on the fucking civil trial. He's dead now, but he owed a shit ton of money on the civil trial. But this is what I love. I love and hate, I'll actually tell you, because when you're on the losing side of, I think I'm right, we cannot lose this case, and we lose it. It is from a men's mental health, from a men's mental health standpoint. John Mansour, my mentor, helped me deal with this a lot because I used to take shit personal. I was like, fuck, I lost. It was a defeating feeling. And after voicing frustration with him one-on-one, he pulled me aside and was like, listen, what you can do is you can prepare. You can prepare, do everything you can do to prepare, put on the show. And then at the end of the day, someone's going to win and someone's going to lose. And like my grandma used to tell me that in much more simpler terms. Like, if I lost a soccer game or didn't do good on a test, like, Grandma Marie, my dad's mom, there's always a winner and a loser is what she would tell me. And like, to me, that's bullshit. That's participation trophy shit. But the way he explained it to me while being in the law, because I'm so competitive, it is so frustrating. There's no way to get over the frustration, but there is a way to get over the sorrow and depression around it. Because listen, if you're not mad you lost, you're a fucking bitch. Like, you didn't care about it. Like, you cannot sit there and take a loss in the face and be like, I'm happy about this loss. Like, if you accept that, you should have substituted out. You shouldn't have been in this case. Like, my mom, I remember early before like going into law school, I remember her making a comment, something along the lines of, Tyler is the type of person who, whether you're innocent or guilty, he will talk to you and he'll defend you. It doesn't mean you're right or wrong, but he will do what he has to do. I don't know if there's a fucking shot at my moral compass, but like, as attorneys, you have an obligation to present your client's case. You can know they killed the motherfucker. And it's not your job to tell the jury, yeah, the body's over here. It's the prosecution's job to show if they killed them, this is how they killed them, and there's no doubt they killed them. My job is like, well, shit, her lover might have killed her and not her husband. And so like and people are telling me that's fucked up, that's morally wrong. But this is a system we live in, and I play a part in it. I've sworn into a role in it. Personally, I don't see it as morally wrong. The Kardashian, Robert Kardashian and Johnny Cochran, they did their job. They weren't monsters. They weren't terrible people. They had wives, kids. The prosecutor didn't do their job. Like, that's the way I see it on those.
It comes down to responsibility, right? It's like, I think that's what this conversation seems to be coming about, is like, what is your responsibility to? And it seems like people have lost, like, that's why I'd be curious what your perspective is, but that's what, at least for me, it's so easy when I search for purpose, if things get hard or fucking, why am I doing this? Like, for me, it's easy. I told you today, like, I got kicked in the face this morning by my 6-year-old. And it's like, as much as in the moment, I was like, geez, I just want to go to sleep. It's like, and also in my breathwork session today, it was like, what are you grateful for? And it was like, that was the thing that popped into my head. It's like, so it gives me purpose.
To me, kids are the greatest purpose. I mean, I don't, and I have people close to my life.
I know you're a great uncle.
I have now 4 nephews and a niece. I want to have kids. There's no doubt about that. I mean, like, to me, that is the greatest purpose. Like, that's the greatest legacy to leave. And I know, and I respect people. There's like lots of very good friends who are like, I don't want kids. That's not my style. I have a great mom and dad. I want to carry it on.
What do you think is important for a guy who is looking for purpose? Like, especially for someone like you, who's high achieving, down this path, and all of a sudden they look up and it's like,
it's a good question. It's difficult. It's a struggle for me because I'll tell you, there's a lot of women who are going to be shallow, going to chase money, going to abuse. And listen, I won't get into my own personal situations, but it doesn't change who I am. Like I said, I still walk on the fucking car side of the sidewalk. I still open your door. I'll still text you, good morning, beautiful. Good night, sweetheart. Like, that's just how I am. Like, it doesn't harden me. I am who I am. You can love me or you can hate me. Go fuck yourself. Either way. Anyone who's known me, I've been the same way my whole life, for better or for worse. Sometimes it's worse. The people who are in my life love me because of that, and they help me because of that. But that toxic masculinity, like, it's just being a fucking man. It's like we get attacked for it. It's like, no, like I'm supposed to be in control. There's sometimes we're like, well, you shouldn't have said that, or you shouldn't have done that, or, well, that was aggressive. I'm like, no, it's being the man and stepping into the fucking role of the man. And like, it's the media, society, it is what is it?
Strong men create good times create weak men.
Yes.
Weak men create hard times.
Exactly. And so, I mean, the weak men are being created.
I think we have the opportunity to change it, though. Like, guys like you and me who are a little, we're seasoned, because I think that millennial guys have this really unique opportunity to come in and like shift the world. Because we came in on a post-feminist era, and it's like, great. Women, and I've talked about this on the show, like, women, they needed to do what they needed to do. Fantastic. Now it's time for guys to step up and take responsibility and do what we need to.
And it's funny, because I come off as sometimes whatever misogynistic, whatever other word they want to fucking use. I'm the only boy. I'm the youngest. I'm the only boy. I got fucking labeled as fucking gay, metrosexual, whatever the other fuck word they wanted to use. Listen, I'm comfortable with my sexuality. I know what I want. I personally think it's a genetic issue. You don't wake up and decide to suck a dick, because it's what I think. And like, it's like, that's not a preference. You don't think, oh, you know what, today I want to suck a dick. Like, I think if there's a genetic, like, inside, either you do or you don't. And that's just, listen, it's my own belief.
One of the things that came up was this concept of toxic masculinity. And I think that masculinity is sort of throw the baby out with the bathwater sort of thing, where the the concept of toxic masculinity is this, I like it, to the streetcar named Desire sort of thing. I don't know if you read that in high school. It's this classic, play set in the 1950s or something. And there's this moment where it's like this guy is professing, he's outside and he's yelling, Stella, right? That's like the famous line. But essentially, he's a wife beater. He's abusive. And I condone that in all parts. Let's just throw that out. And so I think like when people think of toxic masculinity, that's where it started. But then it expanded to so much more things that maybe aren't actually that toxic.
It's expanded to being in control and being a man. There are roles a man does. There's roles a woman should not have to do. There's like, you are the man in the relationship, step up and have some fucking balls. There are certain situations, when I'm with a woman, she should never have to talk to someone about the issue she's having. I'm going to step in because I don't want to, number one, I don't want to put her in risk of harm. And number two, that's not her role to have. Like you're the man, step in and fucking handle the problem is what I see. I get accused of being, misogynistic, whatever fucking word you want to use because of how society portrays it now. No, that is just being true man is personal way I see it. I told you, I am the youngest child. I'm the only boy. So I grew up with all older sisters. I am truthfully probably much more feminine than most men. I'm much more in touch with my feminine side. I get pedicures fucking weekly, every couple of weeks. Like there's shit like that. Like that doesn't bother me. But there's also a time where like, listen, when me and my woman are out in public, I'm going to protect you. I'm going to provide for you physically, financially, and emotionally. Like that is what I see my role as. And any woman I dated, I said, listen, I will provide for you financially. I will support you emotionally. I will support you physically. Like come to me with your issue. There's no reason to bring it out of the home. Come to me first. Like if we can't handle it, then we go get help somewhere else. But like I see it as a role of the quote unquote provider, the male provider. I see myself as a male provider. That's who I am. That's what I was up to be. Like that's why on this earth. And that might be misogynistic. That might be, oh, you think you have money, you think you're the man. No, but that's fucking the purpose of me being on earth.
Growing up, I came up thinking, okay, independent women, right? Remember that song INDEP, like whatever, right? I thought it was like, okay, we're gonna like I was of the opposite mind where I was like, okay, you want to be 50-50, we'll do 50-50. Like if that's what you want to do, if you want to go and you want to be you want to have a career and like, okay, fine, no worries. Like I will actually subject myself to my ambition, my career. I'll subject to what I wanted to do so that you can also have these place here. Not realizing that, okay, yeah, that happens. Yeah, okay, whatever. You can do whatever society says. That doesn't change the biology of what, like, was there. Like, that's what my ex said that she wanted. And also, I got blamed for not providing enough in the relationship. So it's like this weird push and pull where women, they say they want something. And then when you look at what actually feeds and nurtures that, it may not mean say that.
And you're speaking more from a position of experience and tribulation. I'm speaking from more like, listen, I'm happy for my wife to make more than me. And of course, you side now. I will support you. I will push you. I will encourage you. I'm comfortable with what I do and what I make. Like what you make, you're a boss ass bitch is the way I see it. And like that doesn't emasculate me. It doesn't embarrass me. I'm like, I'm very happy and comfortable with what I make. If the woman I'm with isn't making more than me, she is a fucking goddamn amazing woman. And I will put her on the biggest pedestal. She's not a fucking housewife. She's a goddamn fucking godsend. There's some men who are like, oh, she can't make more than me. There's going to be give and take. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, even if she is making more than me, by biological definition, there's going to be a time where she's out of work. And she's not making money. And I personally,
would prefer to afford her as much time as possible with our baby to nurture and care and fill that fall in a relationship with the baby. Money should not be the reason why you do not do what you want with your fucking child. Like this, it's bullshit. I mean, there's a lot of other countries who give much more maternity leave, paternity leave. In America, I'm not going to vouch and say American community should do that, but you should do that. If you personally care about it, well, then fine. Go off work, don't be paid. Like, that's my own position. Don't be paid. Like, do you want to know what's more valuable than money? You up that down. Is the bond you build with your child.
This has been great, Tyler. Just a great conversation. If people want to get more Eki, you follow up with you, or just get in tune with what you're up to, where's the best way?
My Instagram is Better Call Vance. So on Instagram, add Better Call Vance. Feel free, add me, DM me, it's public. Any conversation you want, I'll help you. Like, if I cannot help you, I will put you in touch with the person who can help you. Like, that's what I pride myself in. I don't play to be the master, but I know what I know and I know what I don't know. And if I don't know something you need help with, I will put you in touch with someone who can help you. And I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass. But we will get you taken care of.
We'll link all the socials up in the show notes as well. And my last question that I give every guest, Tyler, is, in your opinion, what is the definition of modern masculinity?
Just from masculinity, fucking chivalry. Like, again, I'll tell you, opening the door. There's so many men our age, like walking on the car side of the sidewalk, and like I was gonna set up and like, and sometimes I will like not necessarily throw, but move the woman to the grab side of it.
To move over here, please.
So because it's a natural. So there's one other thing. I'll get into it in a second. It's one other thing because when I see the car, I'm gonna throw you this way. I'm gonna get hit by the car. The other thing is when we sleep anywhere in any room, I sleep on the door side of the bed because if someone comes in the door, like I normally expect the intruder to come to the door, I want to be able to throw you this way and go, like, to be able to protect you and be able to stand between you and the intruder. Like, it's not, I always sleep on the right side or I always sleep on the left side. No, I sleep on the door side because it's a protector sense. I even do it with my dog. Shadow's protected. But that's the way I was born. I was trained. I don't know what else to tell you.
But that toxic masculinity, like it's just being a fucking man. It's like we get attacked for it. It's like, no, like I'm supposed to be in control. There's sometimes we're like, well, you shouldn't have said that, or you shouldn't have done that, or well, that was aggressive. I'm like, no, it's being the man and stepping into the fucking role of the man.